Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while? You worried about what's going on with Menancia?
What makes you think that?
Well, you were speaking to Kisara earlier, weren't you?
It's rude to listen in on others, you know.
Sorry. I didn't hear what you two were actually talking about, though. I just figured it was Menancia since it was the two of you.
I am but a former lord who has abandoned his post. I'm no longer in a position to lead the realm in any capacity whatsoever. Yet Kisara still seeks out my opinions, knowing full well that is the case. This despite the fact I am no longer her master either.
Couldn't it be precisely because you're not her master anymore? It's natural for friends to want to hear each other's opinions.
I hadn't considered that possibility.
It's funny what you miss sometimes.
Hardly uncommon among artistic types such as myself. When lordships are decided based solely on one's astral energy, it can lead to funny results.
But even so, you still took your job as lord seriously, didn't you?
Certainly. I learned to perform my functions. However, I was less interested in ruling, so much as avoiding life and death decisions. Of course, such a mentality in the end led only to sickening pain and death taking place elsewhere out of sight. I pretended not to see or hear any of it, content to let our supposed peace and equality keep me blind and deaf to reality. I was a fool.
But you're making amends.
I would like to think so. The path ahead is dark, yet I still walk on. I merely pray that I shan't fall down any holes along the way. Do you mind watching our camp tonight?
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while? I wanted to ask you something.
I'm all ears.
How much contact did you have with the other lords back in the day?
I only saw or exchanged words with them on a handful of occasions. Not that I was particularly keen on even that much.
Almadria made it sound like the two of you had some kind of history together.
She was like that with all of the lords, not just me. She was always interested in who she could use, who had value for her own ends. Having said that, she wasn't quite so brazen back when we were still in Lenegus. In a sense, she may have been a victim of the crown contest as well.
Almadria? A victim?
To a Renin, there is no greater honor in life than being chosen to serve as a lord, let alone to go on and become the next sovereign. We are taught that from the day we leave the womb. There are few Renins who wouldn't be ecstatic at the prospect of ascending to lordship.
You were like that though, right? You've always struck me as a more grounded guy.
No sane Renin would ever dare admit that their interests lie in anything but power and prestige, even if they feel so in their heart of hearts.
The more you talk about it, the more it seems like the crown contest is nothing but misery for Renins, too.
Which is why I seek to end it. Not that I imagine Danins such as Rinwell are all that interested in hearing tales of woe such as mine. We'd best get ready for tomorrow.
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while? Another fine day for journeying, huh?
Tell me, do you ever find yourself tiring of the vagabond existence?
It's better than being enslaved, that's for sure. I get to pick my own destination, for starters. You don't get those luxuries as a slave.
Shackle a man's feet, and you put a clamp on his heart as well.
Then there was the food. Gross slop that left you in a permanent state of hunger. Ugh, you wouldn't believe the things I ate to keep from starving. What about you? This must all sound pretty alien to someone who used to be a lord.
Is that a hint of interest in my past I detect?
I guess that's one way to put it.
Well, certainly starvation was never a concern I had to contend with. The day-to-day grind was largely taken care of for me. I even had help getting in and out of clothes. All that was required of me was standing still while looking solemn.
That's quite the downgrade you've made. It's a wonder you don't sound more bitter.
This might surprise you, but I actually don't find our current situation all that disagreeable. My own hardships paled in comparison to yours, granted. But life as a lord came laden with its own restrictions. Forgive me. Such complaints must sound like feeble extravagances to a Danon.
True, rent and opulence doesn't feature high on my sympathy list. Then again, yours isn't exactly a normal case.
I suppose it's not. Sometimes, I can't help but wonder how much easier life would have been without the trappings of nobility.
You really mean that?
Pay me no heed. Not but the ramblings of a privileged eccentric. Whatever my past, it has led to my being here. That is all the reality I need concern myself with. Do you mind watching our camp tonight?
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while?
Would you perchance be interested in going on a walk together?
Why? You're not on guard duty for another few hours.
Which is why I want to walk. To hear the music in these parts.
Music? Where are you going to find musicians all the way out here?
There's more to music than what people play. It's in the grass, fluttering in the wind, the leaves in the trees, and the songs of birds and insects. Once you open your ears, you'll find that music is truly everywhere in this world.
What sounds like music depends on who's listening, huh? It's an interesting idea, but I think it might be a little too difficult for me. Speaking of music, whatever happened to your instruments? You used to be a musician, didn't you?
Those are well out of my reach at this point. That aside, I don't feel that I yet have the right to play any of them again. You could say that it is in part my way of atoning for that which I have failed to do over the years.
Meaning that you haven't completely given up on making things right.
Do you think me a fool stuck in the past?
Not at all. In fact, far from it. You sound like you're still holding out hope for a brighter future. Picture yourself being able to play your music again. Doesn't that motivate you to keep going even when things get tough?
I see what you mean. I didn't realize that drive still lingered within me. The darkness in one's heart is sure to manifest in their music. However, I promise you that one day, when that darkness has finally lifted, I shall let you hear me perform.
Well, now that you've said it, you're gonna have to follow through. I look forward to hearing you play.
Here, let me help you relax and rest easy with a little melody.
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while? You want some?
Well, I'll be. I'm not accustomed to such offers, but I'll gladly partake. It's quiet tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think there are even any Zoogles lurking around for once. Is this one of those times where people would start playing music?
My, have our talks sparked an interest in such arts?
I wouldn't go that far. But from what I've seen, there's a lot more to life than just swinging swords and getting into fights all the time.
You wouldn't have gone without that knowledge for so long, had we Renans not pillaged your planet. Words cannot express how sorry I feel.
300 years of bad blood is too much to lay on one person's feet. That's something a man I admired once said.
I appreciate the sentiment. I pray that once all of this fighting is over, you'll be able to finally find a purpose for yourself, other than simply fighting.
You know, it's strange. I haven't given much thought about what I'm actually going to do with my life once our quest is all over. The only thing I've ever been good at in life is swinging my sword around and hitting things.
Then perhaps it's time for you to begin to contemplate what else you wish to do in life.
Aside from fighting... I guess you've got things like your music and antique collecting to look forward to after all.
Well, I'm sure you have other interests as well. From what I can tell, you seem to be rather interested in weaponry and Renan machinery, yes?
I'm only interested in weapons when it comes to how easy they are to use. And as for technology, I don't know a damn thing about it.
If you have the interest, you can always learn. Being able to understand and create technology that supports and improves lives is always valuable.
I'm not sure I'm cut out for studying. You're right, there's stuff I wouldn't mind knowing more about, but...
That was merely a hypothetical example. My point is that sometimes you can find the answer in the things that you like and already do.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, I know. If we're talking about things I like, what if I tried opening a spicy food restaurant?
Not bad. Although your customer base may be limited.
I feel bad making you my life coach when I originally just wanted to drink together.
Think nothing of it. It is the least I owe you. My life wouldn't be what it is today had you and your friends not come to Vicent. In fact, I think I may owe you all more than I could ever hope to. Alvin? We'd best get ready for tomorrow.